Well, sweet potatoes are out of the garden, but I've got also a probably about 4x4, 5x5 raised bed here that I actually forgot about. And these are sweet potato slips that I placed in here that actually was going to plant into the garden. And the reason I put them in here because they had grown up out of the containers so much. And then I said, well, I'll put them in this little bed here. I hadn't got it totally completed so that they can grow some more. Well, as they grew, then I decided to leave them into this raised bed here. And we can see that this raised bed is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. So if you consider, you want sweet potatoes and you have considered raising them into a raised bed, well, take a look at this raised bed here. Just looking at it is just gorgeous. Now, actually, I only planted sweet potato slips on one side, just about middle ways on one side, on that side over there. And these are the vines that just grew. To me, just looking at it is just simply marvelous. Sweet potato slips to grow sweet potatoes. So you can have abundance of sweet potatoes. We're going to harvest these and see, the amount of sweet potatoes we get. But once again, only half of it had the sweet potato slips. And they wasn't supposed to have been staying in this bed. So they was planted pretty closely. So we're going to see how they do. Of course, you want to plant them probably, I plant mine about 8 to 10 inches apart. Some people plant them further than that, but I never had any problem. About no more than the 12 inches. So, sweet potatoes into a raised bed. Is it possible? It's possible. This is not taking up much room. So you can grow some food into a little raised bed. Now, this sides right here, get up into here. This is actually 2 raised beds. So I would say it's 2 raised sitting on top of one another. But I would say it's probably about 16 inches high. Around there, about 16 to 20 inches high off the ground. That gave it an elevation for these slips, vines here, the sweet potato vines, to hang down. So that's a good idea to, raise your bed up a little bit higher so that your sweet potato vines can grow down and you still have enough room for the vines. It's harvest time for these sweet potatoes right here. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. See you on to the next video. Southern Comfort here. Well, the raised bed has been dug up because we've been getting a lot of rains. And I did notice one rotten potato in there, which is signifying that they're just getting too much rain. Plus, there's a couple in here, it's just showing too much rain because we've got extraordinary amount of rain. Well, sweet potatoes like the heat, but just like in any other potato, too much rain can rot them. So we have dug these potatoes up. Now in this raised bed, there wasn't so many slips I planted in here with the intentions of moving them into the garden. As they grew and the sweet potato slips in the garden were growing, I realized I didn't need them and I decided to just leave them here. And they pretty much took over this raised bed here. So this is probably about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, probably about 15, 16, about 16 inches raised bed here, which created the vines to be able to expel over, not go out too far, look very beautiful. But we have some very, very nice potatoes here. I wasn't really expecting this, but if you're thinking about growing sweet potatoes and you want to grow some sweet potato slips and you don't have much area, then a raised bed will work. There's some smaller potatoes in here. I do have some that probably would have definitely developed if it wasn't for the rain. Now these could be used for stir fry or just actually take and give it to an animal for treat, and that's what those will be doing, is giving it to the animals for treat. So I didn't count how many's here, but these are nice sized sweet potatoes. There's nothing wrong with them. The smaller ones I'm going to keep for the use in stir fries. So nothing wasted here. So guys, if you're thinking about, having a raised bed, wondering if you can grow sweet potatoes slips or sweet potatoes, then this is the option that you can do. If you're limited on space, then you can get a really good harvest here. That is tremendous. You can make a couple sweet potato pies out of that one potato there. They're just tremendously big, and I'm super happy on the growth of these sweet potatoes. So I hope, guys, that if you ever thought and wonder if you could grow sweet potato slips in a raised bed, here is your evidence. As a matter of fact, you can grow many, many things into a raised bed. Limited space. This is a 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. It's a 4 by 4 raised bed. Not taking up much space, not into the way, but yet produce a harvest. And I really did nothing to these sweet potato slips. Put them in there, they grow. I put potassium in there. I put 10-10-10 fertilizer in there. You don't want too much nitrogen because nitrogen produces a lot of leaves. But you want some potassium, or if you have a wood stove, potash will work great. And they pretty much take care of themselves. After that, you just get a harvest. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you on to the next video. Now these sweet potato slips, vines here, if you have cows or pigs, then nothing will go to waste. You can put them in your compost. Nothing can go to waste if you make it happen. So guys, make it happen. Okay, these are my vegetable crates. This is where I'm putting my potatoes temporary for now. Right now the sun's coming back through that back window. It's not hot, but it's the end of the day, and it'll shine there for a couple hours and it'll be gone. As you can tell, there is a blanket on the back end, just keeping out all that light as much as possible. Most of the time I'll have my potatoes into a cool, dark room. Right now I'm moving some things around, so later on they'll be going into a cool, dark room. Now these crates here, this is foldable. These black ones are foldable, and I got more. The blue ones are not. I got from Facebook Marketing for $2 for the blue ones. The black ones was for free. And it works out great because, as you notice, that we got a lot of good airflow. And these potatoes was wet when they came out of the garden because of all the rain that we've had. And right now, all these potatoes have dried. The first ones that came out of the garden, I took the time to make sure I could get as much dirt off of these potatoes as possible. So, and then the next ones today, getting the potatoes out of the garden, so I was taking the time later, I just brush off as much dirt as possible. We know that wet dirt sticks. Now, right now, these look like, they haven't even been wet. And that's what I'm looking for. Because you don't want your potatoes wet. Because one time I had potatoes, last year actually, had potatoes coming out of the garden. Same time, got to get them out of the garden because of the rain. And I put them onto a dog kennel tray. And I laid them on there. It was plenty of room. I thought that would be great. But because of the dirt, it doesn't, if it doesn't get the proper air, then that dirt stays wet. It must be getting moisture from the potato, but it stays wet, and so I had some of my potatoes to rot. So airflow is very, very important when you start your potatoes out. Now, This right here is what you call an egg, like an egg carton type material. It is a chick feeder, and it's made of that egg carton material. And I use these for my potatoes and my tomatoes. And these are the first potatoes that came out. You'll see some damage there on where I hit it with the rake, but those will be cooked soon. That's why they're sitting there. But this works out great for my tomatoes and my potatoes. And I can't remember the name of the company, but I actually found these. They fell off the back of a truck on the road, and I stopped and picked them up, and they are awesome. This gave me the opportunity, especially this year, of all the tomatoes harvest that came in. I can put these down, and if I have a rotten tomato or potato, this carton here material will absorb that material. It won't be going to all my other vegetables, creating a rottenness. And so I really love these. I try to take care of them as much as possible. This is probably about my third or fourth year of using these. And they're made out of paper, so if they was to get wet or whatever, they're just going to disintegrate. And that's the reason they use these. So when they're feeding the chicks, you know, they just end up disintegrating. And it's easy cleanup, I guess. But yeah. So I love that right there. I've used those before I found these crates. Facebook marketing. I went on there and see if I can find some. And $2 a piece for the blue ones. The black ones are free. And that was awesome, because I really like the black ones. I mean, I like both of them, but I like the black ones because they could fold up and they're easy storage, put away at the end of the season or when my crate is empty.